Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. Now, on this week's show, we're going to kind of go off the beaten path a little bit here, and we're going to reply to a few comments on the channel on the recent videos, and just a couple of them. And it's not going to be like a rant video or anything like that, but there was one comment on last week's video, and shit, I should have probably written the name down before I went and tried to put this video together, but it was talking about how the Reclaimer is actually in production in Foundry 42 in the UK, and that is in fact true. In the February 10th studio report, the monthly studio report for the month of January, it lists the Reclaimer as being in production, cleaning up the outside model, building up at least one room within the interior, I believe, and kind of getting the ship together. So if we just saw the UK this week on Around the Verse, that means it's going to be about a month, 4 more weeks before we see the UK again on Around the Verse. So hopefully towards the end of March we might see the UK again, so maybe we will see the Reclaimer, maybe a little bit of work in progress. That would be cool. So hopefully, but to know that ship is in production is amazing. And when I saw that comment, I went, oh shit, was that really in there? Did I miss that? And then I went back and checked it. It was like, oh, it is. It's going, the claw is real. The claw is real. And so now I really got to start thinking of a name for that ship. But another one of the comments was, you forgot to put piracy in the Piracy Show. And dude, I know. When I originally kind of started making these videos, I kind of figured things were going to move a little bit faster than they did. And they didn't. And so here we are. And that's kind of where the problem is with the Piracy Show in general. Is like, I like to do it because it's very much stream of consciousness, which a lot of my videos are. I mean, I don't think that's a shocker to anyone, but a lot of my videos are very much stream of consciousness, with mostly bullet notes right beside my PC, and I just try to hit certain points, and I don't script things. I just kind of go, this is just me as I am, talking as I do, and not kind of trying to be like, hey everybody, it's Minion Soldier and welcome to the Piracy Show. Hey, hashtags and hype, let's get started, yippity yay. That's not this channel, nor is it ever going to be anything like that. Let's go to read some tweets. Ooh, no. But I kind of thought that the game was going to move along a little bit faster than it did, and it didn't. And that's not exactly disappointing to me, or not exactly that big of a deal to me. Because even though I would like to see these things, of course, I would love to fly my Reclaimer right now. I would love to, take my Dragonfly out. But we're just not there yet. And the truth is, like, I have other things that I do in video games on the side that, keep me more than entertained. I mean, right now I'm trying to speed run towards playing a class in World of Warcraft that I've never played before. And I'm trying to get this class all geared up. And the only reason I stopped was actually to put this video together, but I'm almost to level 110 in World of Warcraft on a marksmanship hunter, and I'm trying to do this 0 to hero thing. But that's stuff that has nothing to do with Star Citizen, and that's not why you guys are here, and not why you guys have subbed. So I'm not going to try to slam some Legion videos into my channel. Until the game gets fleshed out, until we get things like the interdiction mechanic, and we get like something close to the final version of how sensors are going to work, which is actually relative to this ship here. Of course, this is the new Super Hornet model, the freshly updated one. Love it. It looks fantastic. But one of the things that I wanted to do with this ship was I wanted to take that center ball turret out. I wanted to replace it with the radar from the tracker, and then I wanted to basically strip out all the other components and then replace them with the components from the Hornet Ghost. And then take that radar, as it says in the Hornet brochure, switch it into passive mode, and then basically use this as kind of like the eyes of the fleet. That was, when I originally started building up what I wanted to do in Star Citizen. I kind of wanted to act as the eyes of the fleet, and so I wanted to take the ship and then rebuild it like that. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how things turn out, I went in some different directions along the way. But a lot of the stuff that I want to play with, a lot of the stuff that I want to talk about in terms of piracy and all these things, the nitty-gritty of it, the nuts and bolts, just aren't there yet. I mean, we have a building site and we have a foundation poured. The scaffolding is starting to go up and the building materials are arriving at the site, but really we're not there yet. It'd be like, like, what am I going to do? Take you guys for a tour of the concrete pad and say, this is where my house is going to be? No, we're not there yet. And so there's a lot of the important things that you would want to talk about on the Piracy Show just aren't here yet. So in the end, you're just kind of left talking about the bigger, broader concepts, different ideas. And so I would love to do more, but I just don't see how. It kind of sounds like a shitty, and I'm not trying to be shitty about it, but it's just there's not a lot to talk about, right? A lot of that critical stuff just isn't here, so yeah, we kind of have to talk about a lot more varied topics on the Piracy Show than anything else. And this show has become more or less just Minion's opinions on the various Star Citizen topics of the day. Some people agree, some people don't, but unfortunately that's where we're at. I mean, the piracy in the PU in its state right now is basically pointless. And I know how it's going to sound, but at this point, it serves no purpose. If you go out and you get a crime stat rating, well, what does that get you? Well, you get to go to Grim Hex. Well, you can kind of fly to Grim Hex anyways if you know where it is. Oh, well, you get missions to go to, the satellites and kill anybody who tries to come in and fix the satellites for a paltry sum of UEC. So I get to go and sit in a satellite that I just turned off and guard it and ambush people? Well, that'll be interesting for about 5 minutes. There's really nothing to do. I mean, the most exciting part about being a pirate right now in the PU is going to Korea and stealing all the little bottles of booze for UEC from the lockers while you wait for your hack to finish. And that's it. And that kind of gets old after a while. I mean, after a while, it's just I look at it and I go, there's really no point in having a crime stat rating because you have to deal with more tomfoolery at Grim Hex than you have to deal with at Port Olisar. And when you just want to take ships out and film them so you can make episodes, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Now, hopefully in the future things will change and things will be moved around a little bit and things will get more interesting. But until that day, this is kind of it. This is all we got. So it is going to always be kind of like a show that's more or less stream of consciousness, as stumbling as that sometimes is, and it's going to be about bigger and broader concepts until we get to the point where the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts of the game actually match up to what our hopes and ambitions are, and the critical information that we're going to need to actually start to make videos properly about piracy, about how to take down ships, how to make ships, how do I want to play as a pirate in the Star Citizen universe? Well, I kind of have some ideas about how I want to do things, but until I know how it's going to work in the game, until I know the rules of the universe that I'm going to be playing in, it's very difficult to make plans, make very specific plans, which, in the end we all want to do, right? Whether you're a miner, whether you're a cargo hauler, whether you're a merc. In order to know how you're going to do your thing and how all those things are going to work and how they're going to integrate together, you need certain critical components that the game just does not give you at this point. And, it's also a very difficult thing. Like, I feel bad for people who run orgs right now, because it's very difficult to kind of get organized and stay organized with your team members. All these new tools are going to be coming online, but once again, the game is not really a game yet. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to kind of keep people's interest beyond the JPEGs, beyond the videos, beyond the ship development updates and all that. There's still the core game components, that some of which are going to be coming online hopefully in the near future with 3.0, but really the game just isn't there yet, and so it's a very difficult time. So yeah, so this is really going to be the content on the channel for the next little while, until the game kind of reaches a certain point where I feel that it's interesting enough to make daily content about. I mean, some other people may be able to do it, and they might be able to do, like, this is how I configured my HOTAS, this is how I configured my, my settings and my keyboard and whatnot, and this is, how I set up, the video options to get higher frame rates in game. But from my perspective, though, I find those videos very useful, and like sometimes I'll go out and I'll go, okay, so I can do this and I'll get a higher frame rate. All right, cool, let me try that. Or, oh, here's an interesting way that someone configured their controls, let me try that. And I do appreciate that content, but at the same time, for me personally, I look at it and I go, this stuff is all going to change like 100 times, and I wouldn't want to have to make the same video 100 times over because the game kept changing. So in the end, I'm going to keep kind of doing things this way until I feel that the game has really kind of reached a point. I have some big ideas for the future, but until the game kind of reaches that point, I don't know. Anyways, that's the video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.